Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. So right now the time is approximately 6:59 p.m. and the current date is Tuesday, September 26th, 2017. I would like to give you a bit of an update with regards to my ongoing series of YouTube videos with accompanying WordPress blog posts about 4 magical and witchy cozy mystery series. So my personal preference is to be able to walk into a bookstore and find what I want and find what I need, and that works best for me. Although I'm much more comfortable with online shopping now than I used to be last year, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, what have you, I still like being able to just do that. Plus, I can honestly say that in the past, every time that I would make a purchase on Barnes & Noble Booksellers website, there was always a problem with calculating the discount. And I don't seem to have that problem when I physically go in the store. But when I go on their website, I have a problem. And, well, that's frustrating for me. I mean, I've spent money to have that automatic, that additional 10% membership discount. So, you know, I want to get my money's worth. So I've needed to modify this a little bit. However, it looks like I've been finding more magical and witchy themed cozy mystery series in my local Barnes & Noble bookseller stores. So what I need to do is basically do some research and physically go to those stores and basically say, okay, look what they have, and then buy them if I can, and put the whammy on them if I can't at that time, and then go from there. So this video is officially the 4 magical and witchy themed cozy mystery series part 5. I have modified this a little bit to include 1 or 2 that are not, or 3 that are not witchy themed, and there will be a surprise at the end. So I'm very excited about the surprise. Very excited. Now, for those of us that love black cats, Double Booked for Death. It's a Black Cat Bookshop Mystery. It's the first one in the series, and it's by Ali Brandon. Okay. Darla Pettistone left Texas for New York after unexpectedly inheriting her great aunt Dee's bookstore, Brooklyn bookstore. She didn't know that the store's mascot, Hamlet, an oversized black cat with a personality to match. Gee, that sounds familiar, as I look at Isis, the alpha female, who is successfully pretending that she's asleep and doesn't hear a word I'm saying, but she's listening to every word. Isn't that right? I don't see her ears flicker, but I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person look to see if her tail is flickering back and forth. Really? Okay. Anyway, Hamlet, an oversized black cat with a personality to match, was also part of the deal, and he made me more trouble than Darla bargained for. That sounds familiar too. As the new owner of Pettistone's Fine Books, Darla Pettistone is determined to prove herself a worthy successor to her late great-aunt Dee, and equally determined to outwit Hamlet, the smarter-than-thou cat she inherited along with the shop. Darla's first store event is a real coup. The hottest best-selling author of the moment is holding a signing there, which brings hordes of fans and some protesters. But when the author meets an untimely end during the event, it's hardly good for business, even though it's ruled an accident, until Hamlet digs up a clue that seems to indicate otherwise. Those black cats always getting into something, I'm telling you. Now Darla fears a killer might be lurking about. Can the interfering Hamlet point the paw at the culprit without losing one of his own 9 lives? I'll find out soon enough. So yes, So I'm being a little silly with this because number one, my primary animal familiar or feline familiar is a black cat named Isis, named after the ancient Egyptian goddess of witchcraft. That's number one. And number two, she was a gift from somebody that, if she was a professional psychic and if she was a practicing witch, she would really give me a run for my money. I've often said that competition is a poverty consciousness concept, but if this person who gave me that beautiful cat as a birthday gift several years ago were a professional psychic, I would have genuine competition in her, seriously. And this is one of those modifications when I can't find another magical and witchy-themed cozy mystery. I will go to things that I also love, like black cats, like bookstores. And I gotta tell you, some of these bookstores I would love to visit, I'm telling you. So that's the first one. And I'm gonna move something so that I can put this on the side. Okay, next we have Murder is Binding. Oh, you know what? Let me do a close-up of this first. Okay, now I'm going to do a close-up of the other one. Murder is Binding. I love the pun. I love the pun. Okay, first in the new series, a Booktown mystery. Oh, you know what? There's something on the floor that's distracting me. If you could pick that up, I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. My awesome audiovisual person is on the case, just like these people are on the case. Oh, and it includes recipes. I'm telling you, one of these days I'm going to finally stop saying I should get back into baking and actually do it. But that's another story. Oh, and it's by Lorna Barrett, who is a New York Times best-selling author, not unlike Ali Brandon. Okay. Okay. I must be reading that correctly. I'm gonna... Oh, I wasn't reading it correctly. I thought it said Stone Barn. It's Stoneham, like Stoneham. Okay. Stoneham, New Hampshire was a dying town until community leaders invited booksellers to open up shop. Now its streets are lined with bookstores. Ooh, I love it. And paved with murder. When she moved to Stoneham, city slicker Trisha Miles was met with friendly faces. And when she opened her mystery bookstore, she was met with friendly competition. But when she finds Doris Gleason dead in her own cookbook store, killed with a kitchen knife, the atmosphere seems more cutthroat than cordial. Someone wanted to get their hands on the rare cookbook that Doris had recently purchased, and the locals think that someone is Trisha. To clear her name, Trisha will have to take a page out of one of her own mysteries and hunt down someone who is killing by the book. I love these. And it is the first in the new Booktown mystery series. And look at that, look at the cute little kitty. I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the cute little kitty. And then go back to a close-up of the cover. Okay. Now we're going to go with some witchiness. A familiar tale. Let me try that again. Oh, that's so embarrassing. Let me try that again. A familiar tale. A witch's cat mystery, first in the series. And how do I know this? Because this is second in the series. Okay. By Delia James. Something witchy this way comes. Unlucky in love artist Annabelle Britton decides that a visit to the seaside town of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, isn't that interesting? Second novel in a row set in New Hampshire, is the perfect way to get over her problems. But when she stumbles upon a smoky gray cat named Alistair and follows him into a charming cottage, charming indeed, Annabelle finds herself in a whole spell book full of trouble. Suddenly saddled with a witch's wand and a furry familiar, Annabelle meets a friendly group of women who use their spells, charms, and potions to keep the people of Portsmouth safe. But despite their gifts, the witches can't prevent every wicked deed in town. Another ghost? Okay. Soon, the mystery surrounding Alistair's former owner, who died under unusual circumstances, grows when another local turns up dead. Armed with magic, friends, and the charmed cat who adopted her, rather than the other way around, isn't that always the way? Annabelle sets out to paw through the evidence and uncover a killer. I love the artwork on this. And this is one of those, I must admit, I do love black cats, but if I could not have had a black cat, I would have had a charcoal gray cat like this one. So I'm going to have my audiovisual person do another close-up of the cover of the book, and then a close-up of this beautiful charcoal gray cat named Alistair. Thank you. And this was one of those occasions where I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy the next one in the series. So, By Familiar Means, A Witch's Cat Mystery by Delia James, author of A Familiar Tale. Magic, Meows, and Murder. After discovering her mystical heritage and being adopted by furry feline familiar Alistair, say that 3 times fast, artist Annabelle Britton has decided to make picturesque Portsmouth, New Hampshire her new home. Now she can take the time to figure out her new abilities and welcome her grandmother, who is visiting Portsmouth, and her old coven for the first time in decades. But being a witch doesn't magically put money in the bank. Don't I know it? Maybe I'm doing the wrong kind of money magic. Something to think about. When she's hired to paint the murals for a new coffee shop, you know I love my coffee shops, it seems like a wish come true. But then a series of spooky sounds and strange happenings convince the owners that their new shop is haunted. They want Annabelle and her coven to evict the restless spirit before the grand opening. Annabelle is certain the haunted happenings at the shop are just hocus pocus. When her search reveals hidden smugglers' tunnels beneath the shop and a dead body, Annabelle, Alistair, and the coven suddenly find themselves in a cat and mouse game with a killer. Isn't it always the way? So, once again, I'm going to ask my awesome audiovisual person to do a close-up of the cover of the book, and then a close-up of this beautiful kitty. See, Isis perked up because I wasn't referring to her as the beautiful kitty. I swear to you, she's still awake. I know she looks like she's sleeping, but guess what? I've done the same thing. I pretend to be asleep so I can hear the good shit. She's doing the same thing. Now, so one of the things that I love about where I live is that I can go to other libraries so long as I have the right kind of library card, meaning a card that corresponds to that particular system, and I can borrow from other libraries. So one day I had seen this, and I love that it was first in the series. Now this is not my usual type of thing, because I do love dogs, but I love and prefer cats. But I do love dogs. I do love dogs very much, and I do have my favorite breeds. So this book happens to be the first in a new series. It also happens to be a book that I didn't need to borrow because somebody had donated it. So this to me was a money miracle. And it's called Pause for Murder. I know, right? First in a new series, and it is a pet boutique mystery by Annie Knox. So, Izzy McHale wants her new Trendy Tales pet boutique, I love it, Trendy Tales, in Maryville, Minnesota to be the height of canine couture and feline fashions. But at the store's opening, it turns out it's a human who's dressed to kill. Izzy's own beloved pets are dressed to the nines for the grand opening of Trendy Tales. Feisty feline Jinx is large and in charge, yes she is. And Happy Mutt Packer is lapping up the attention. Izzy and her best friend Rena have their hands full meeting Maryville's menagerie and serving tasty pupcakes and kitty canapes from their barkery. That's cute. The last thing they need is Sherry Harper, the town's local activist, scaring off customers and getting tongues wagging by picketing the event. The two managed to stop... Let me try that again. I got excited. Out of breath and excited. The two managed to stop Sherry's protest in its tracks, but the trouble for Trendy Tales is just beginning. Sherry is found murdered in the back of the shop, and Rena is immediately named as the lead suspect. Now Izzy and her furry friends have a new pet project, collaring a killer. I'm excited about this one too. Now, for the record, I have yet to read any of these because I'm currently reading 4 cozy mysteries at the same time, not to mention an anthology of science fiction short stories by Samuel R. Delany, a James Patterson novel, and rereading several books by Catherine Ponder, and currently rereading The Wisdom or the Writings of Florence Scovel Shinn. So I have my hands full with regards to reading, plus I have all these new shows that I've discovered. So between Hulu Plus and YouTube Red and Netflix and actual TV, and I'm already on the 3rd season of the original series of Wonder Woman for the 2nd time. So yeah, so there's a lot going on at Chez Robert. But in the meantime, let me tell you a little bit about something very exciting. But first, a sip of café con leche. Might as well finish it. Oh, even if it's not Maxwell House, it's Chez Robert, it's good to the last drop. Okay, so recently, most of you know that subscription boxes have become very popular, and there are so many different subscription boxes on so many different themes. Everything from chocolates to scrapbooks to this, to that, to the other thing. There's the Moon Box, which I'm long overdue to subscribe to their stuff because their stuff is fabulous. But as most of you know, I have become crazy for cozy mysteries as opposed to cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So I was given an opportunity to receive a box of Murder She Sent. Murder She Sent is named after Murder She Wrote. And Murder She Sent is a cozy mystery themed subscription box. Now, it just so happens that the living goddess of Murder She Sent has given me the opportunity to receive a complimentary box in exchange for announcing it on social media. So, this tail end of this video is a bit of a teaser. So when I receive the box, I'm going to do an actual unboxing of the thing. And there are 2 types of options. You have the crate and you have the economy box. I want the crate. I want all the good shit. I want the good shit with the novel, the cozy mystery, and all related goods. And it just so happens that next month, October 2017, the theme is Butterbeer. And this is perfect for those of us that love Harry Potter. So it's a Butterbeer themed, hold on. I'm gonna ask my awesome audiovisual person, it is Butterbeer, right? Okay, it is Butterbeer. So yeah, so I'm going to actually have a photograph of the image of Murder She Sent's beautiful cat logo as part of this video. And I'm going to actually do an unboxing when I receive the box. And I'm very excited about it. I'm very, very excited because you know what? I'm really looking forward to this. I love the whole thing. I've become so enamored with cozy mysteries. They've become one of my personal favorite literary genres. And I spend just as... it's so funny because there was a time when I would go to a bookstore, and especially a chain bookstore like Barnes & Noble bookseller stores, and I would spend more time in the New Age and metaphysical studies section or the section of, oh, is that a clock? Okay. Or journals than any other section. But now I actually spend more time in the Cozy Mysteries section. Isn't that crazy? I'm telling you, it's so funny. I still spend time with the tarot decks and the metaphysical books, but not as much. Now it's like I go right to the Cozy Mysteries. It's the craziest thing. But then again, I'm crazy for Cozy Mysteries, so there you go. Anyway, so I'm very excited about that. I am absolutely thankful to the living goddess of murder she sent for giving me the opportunity to review one of her boxes. Very excited, and some of you know how much I love boxes. Whether it's a decorative box, whether it's a storage box, whether it's a wooden box, whether it's a Punch Studio box, whether it's a gift box, whether it's a subscription box, I love boxes. So I'm looking forward to receiving this box. I should be receiving it sometime in early October. But the same date that I receive it, I will do an unboxing. If for some bizarre reason I cannot do the unboxing the same date that I receive it, it's because I was super busy that day, or because I didn't receive it from the postal carrier when it arrived. But I'm gonna actually send her an email and ask her to let me know when she ships the box. And I'm going to ask her if she's going to ship mine before everybody else's, or if she's going to ship mine after everybody else's. Either way is fine. You know, I'm okay with either way. I just want to make sure that I'm aware of what's going to happen. And I'm going to ask the postal angels to make sure that they get me this box safe and sound, and as soon as I receive it. Thank you, postal angels. So I'm very excited about that. I absolutely look forward to actually, before that, I want to thank those of you who have been very patient and generous with me, because it was neither my intention to, well, it really was neither my intention nor my desire to modify this theme. My intention was to have a strictly magical and witchy-themed Cozy Mystery series, but I have needed to take a little leeway every now and again, and that's not my preference. I would have much preferred sticking to strictly magic, witchcraft, witchy, magical, psychic, paranormal. Well, not paranormal, because that's a whole different genre altogether, but stick to that particular thing. And you know what, I really do love how the number 4 has helped me have some really great YouTube video series, and I really love that very much. So with that being said, I want to thank those of you who have already subscribed to my YouTube channel, and if you have not already done so, I absolutely invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I also want to thank those of you who have already scheduled your readings with me, or scheduled your other sessions with me, whether it's not necessarily an intuitive card reading. And if you have not already done so, I invite you to do so as soon as you can. September through December remains the busiest time of the year for me, and I have a long-time client who's been using my psychic services since September 2001, who has twice, actually, waited too long to schedule an appointment with me. And when she waited too long, she didn't get the appointment date that she wanted. And she was actually surprised. She was like, well, what do you mean it's not available anymore? And I'm like, well, when I first gave you those dates 2 months ago, they were available. Now they're not. So schedule as soon as you can, and know that the universe is providing you with everything you need to avail yourselves of my psychic services, including but not limited to money, time, transportation, and childcare. And for those of you who are not going to be visiting the New York City area anytime soon, know that you have the phone option, and you have the Skype option, and you have the email option. I know that a lot of people don't, actually I don't know if that's true. I will say that for me, it has been a long time since somebody has availed themselves of an email reading with me, but I still offer them. I just offer them a little bit, no, I haven't actually modified anything. The only Yeah, I'm thinking about that because the thing that my primary psychic guide David said to me was that as soon as I receive the money, I am to conduct an email reading within 48 hours of receiving the payment for said email reading. And that hasn't changed. I do give people a specific set of instructions to make sure that they get their time's worth and their money's worth. But other than that, nothing has changed with regards to how I conduct email readings. I actually conduct them pretty much the same way that I do in-person readings, just a little bit modified for, an email exchange, or an email interface, if you will. But if you have questions about that, you can ask me. And I think that's it. I want to wish all of you many blessings of love and light, prosperity and peace. I want to thank you all for honoring who I am and what I do. I want to thank you all for honoring all of us at Catland and everything we do as well. And I think that's it. I would close this video taking another sip of my café con leche, but there's no more café con leche because I drank every last drop. But I will wish you a good night, and I will wish you many, many blessings.